Today is March 17th, and we are 2 days into our extended spring break because of some coronavirus scares and taking precautions in our city. This is Ms. Halpern, and to let you guys know, I had a great spring break, and I am safe, and I'm healthy, and so is my family. We had a very busy spring break last week. As some of my students know, my sister is expecting her second child, and I spent a lot of time helping my niece, who's 8, declutter her bedroom so she could move into the big girl bedroom and we could begin prepping her old room for her little brother's nursery. Some of my students also know that I enjoy gardening, and I was able to clean up the yard and haul in some soil and plant a bunch of things, including tomatoes and serrano peppers, jalapeno peppers, bell peppers, cucumbers, watermelons, onions. There was also recently a death in the family before spring break, and it's been really good to spend time together to help each other through all of this. And this unknown situation that we find ourselves in with a new virus can be really scary, especially if people we care about can be severely affected if it reaches them, like myself with a pregnant sister and parents around 70 years old. And while it's nice to sleep a little extra and have some time to focus on family, I feel that I'm also obligated as a teacher to help make sure that students continue to expand their minds and learn new things, even if we can't be in the classroom together. And my routine teaching helps make uncertain moments feel more normal because teaching is so normal to me. So we will be spending a lot of time at my kitchen table. Here is the view into the yard, some tomatoes in that garden, a deck that many books will be read at, some onions in the pot nearby. That's Girl Cat out there. And we will be spending quite a bit of time doing some remote instruction from the kitchen table. To recap from before the break, we spent quite a bit of time doing different representations of equations. We looked at pictorial models, we looked at algebra, we looked at verbal descriptions, and we did the same thing with equations. And you might have these papers with you, or I may have collected the papers from you, and we're all kind of in a different place depending on the class that you're in. So extra copies are available on Google Classroom if you want to recreate that. So we're all working off the same material. We kind of have nothing but time at this point. I actually left my answer keys in the classroom as well, so I had to print it and remake it because I wanted to reference it. So I don't think these are nearly as pretty. But when we looked at the different representations of equations, we were looking at clue words like 5 is $2 more than Ryan earned. When I see is, that is a clue that it means equals. And when I see more than, that phrase indicates addition. And that's what helped me match it with D plus 2 equals 5. And then I found a pictorial model that matched with it. The rectangles were representing our variables, and the unshaded squares, +1 or adding 1, the shaded in squares, -1 or -1. And so I matched it by looking at one variable plus 2 constants was equal to or balanced with 5 constants. I also did the same thing with the expressions. The main difference that we were discussing in class is that with the equations, it had a balance beam, and the balance beam is a way to visually represent equivalency, showing balance or showing that they're equal. Also, some people pointed out that these didn't really make a lot of sense, the expressions. For example, 5 less than 3 times the number of points. Some people were left with a feeling of, okay, is what equals what? It almost seemed like this was an incomplete thought, and that's true. Expressions are more of a mathematical phrase, but equations are more of a mathematical sentence, showing how one part is equal to the whole. If you need time to recreate yours, they are available if you want them for reference, or if you know that you did them, but maybe they're in your locker and you can't get to them now, but you just want it for reference, that is perfectly fine. These will be used again in a Desmos activity where you'll be asked to give different characteristics of expressions, different characteristics of equations, and things that they have in common with each other.